I call to order the meeting of the Manassas Park Governing Body for December 16th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Please join us for a moment of silence, and Councilmember Cyberling, will you lead us in the pledge?
Yes.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, is anyone signed up for public comment? No. Is there anyone who's not signed up? Go ahead. Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Ms. Connor will keep the time.
All right. Laszlo Palco, resident of Manassas Park. Do I need to give my address or? Okay, good.
No,
All
not
right.
anymore.
Just here to support both Patty and Debbie, to give my support and thanks for their many years of service. I hope all residents will join me in thanking them for their incredible hard work, and if they see them in the street again, thank them. I'm not sure they understand kind of the mechanics of what was happening and how critical they were to helping turn around the city. Before Patty took over as treasurer, the city had millions of dollars in delinquent taxes, and she was incredibly important in getting all those things, all the collections of all those revenues to help us reduce our tax rate by 15 pennies over the last 4 years. If she didn't do that, we wouldn't have done it. Tax collection rates were at below 90%. She took over, she got them to over 100% because she was collecting delinquencies and current year as well. There's always a consummate team player. Debbie, the city probably should have listened to her in 2015 with the ERP implementation. She had a lot of good points out there that proved to be correct, and she was absolutely pivotal in 2017 and beyond in helping to fix the ERP so we could become audit ready and help turn the city around when it came to personal property tax collection when we went back to annual decal. So just thank them both for, we wouldn't have been able to do those tax rate reductions. We wouldn't have been in a good financial position if it wasn't for Patty and Debbie. And he agrees as well. That's what I think is so, but thank you so much, both of you all, Patty and Debbie, for everything you guys did for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to make comments? Okay. Tonight we have a public hearing regarding the amended FY2026 budget. I declare the public hearing open. We'll begin with presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. So we made the presentation 2 weeks ago, so I'm just going to hit the highlights. This is the spreadsheet that you've seen reliably time after time. Anything in green is an increase to the budget. Anything in red is a decrease to the budget. And the yellows are, the reason it looks like it's such a huge adjustment is because this is the carryover money from projects that were not completed between the two budget cycles. So at the end of the day, the financial impacts in the general fund are about $285,000 when you don't include the millions of dollars of carryover stuff. So that's really the only the changes that matter on the amendment. Unless you have questions, that's all I have for you.
Any questions? We'll start to the left.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
No question.
Okay. Is there anyone who would like to make public comment on the budget amendment? Nope. All right. Then motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries, and this will be voted on later tonight. All right, now we have our recognitions. The first one is a resolution recognizing Debbie Wood for her years of service. Whereas Debbie Wood has served the City of Manassas Park for 34 years, including as its elected Commissioner of Revenue, demonstrating exceptional dedication, professionalism, and commitment to excellence. And whereas throughout her distinguished career, Debbie Wood has contributed immeasurably to the success of the City of Manassas Park through hard work, unwavering integrity, and leadership, including by providing valuable insights to the city's IT team in enhancing the city's software system in 2018, so that the city could pass its audit, managing the growing number of vehicle licenses and decals during the city's re-implementation of annual decals, and managing growing workloads pertaining to business taxes associated with stronger economic growth. And whereas Debbie Wood has been valued elected official and colleague whose leadership, reliability, and willingness have enriched the workplace and set a lasting example for others to follow. And whereas the impact of Debbie Wood's decades of leadership and service will continue to benefit the City of Manassas Park long after retirement through improved processes, strengthened teams, and the countless people whose lives and careers have been positively influenced. And whereas the governing body wishes to express its thanks and appreciation for Debbie Wood's contributions and to recognize the significance of this milestone. And now therefore be it resolved that the governing body formally honors and recognizes Debbie Wood for 34 years of service and extends sincere gratitude for the dedication and commitment shown throughout this remarkable career. And be it further resolved that the governing body of Manassas Park offers its best wishes to Debbie Wood for a long, healthy, fulfilling retirement filled with joy, new adventures, and well-deserved rest. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Debbie, would you like to come up? Would you guys all like to come down? Come on down. Come on. Thank you. Thank you.
No.
Anyone want to say anything? Okay. Next up, we have a resolution recognizing Patricia Dellinger for her years of service. Whereas Patricia Dellinger has served the City of Manassas Park for 32 years, including as its elected treasurer, demonstrating exceptional dedication, professionalism, and commitment to excellence. And whereas throughout her distinguished career, Patricia Dellinger has been an incredible partner that the city needed to improve its financial and operational position, including collecting millions of dollars in delinquent tax revenue from 2018 today, improving collection rates of current year bills from below 90% to a 98% and above average, working with the city to secure short-term cash loans in 2017 and 2018 when the city was financially insolvent and could not pay its bills. Taking over utility billing from the city to improve performance and customer service experience, improving daily bank reconciliations to sustain the city's auditable position, signing an agreement with the city in 2019 to coordinate financial operations between her department and the city to support integrated financial management, and always bending over backwards to support the city with anything that it needed. And whereas Patricia Dellinger has not only been a great leader of her team in the Treasury Department, but has been a key member of the city's leadership team, ensuring the success of the city through her hard work, positive attitude, and dedication to our city residents. And whereas the impact of Patricia Dellinger's decades of leadership and service will continue to benefit the City of Manassas Park long after retirement through improved processes, strengthened teams, and the countless people whose lives and careers have been positively influenced. And whereas the governing body of the City of Manassas Park wishes to express its thanks and appreciation for Patricia Dellinger's contribution and to recognize the significance of this milestone. Now therefore be it resolved that the governing body formally honors and recognizes Patricia Dellinger for her 32 years of service and extends sincere gratitude for the dedication and commitment shown throughout this remarkable career. And to be it further resolved that the governing body of Manassas Park offers its best wishes to Patricia Dellinger for a long, healthy, fulfilling retirement filled with joy, new adventures, and well-deserved rest. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Would you like to come on up? Everyone back down.
It's okay. You'll get his. You will get his.
I would like to thank you both for coming out. It's not going to be the same without you two upstairs, but I'm sure you'll be around, and we'll miss you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to add anything? Okay. 50th anniversary report. Back to Carl.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, so as you know, obviously, we just celebrated our 50th year as an incorporated city, and as such, a number of events were scheduled to celebrate that event. There were a number of events that were contemplated that didn't go, so I'm not including them here. They were included in the update we did in June. So I'm just going to cover the ones that went and talk about those. So this is the calendar of the events that went. We had a kickoff event in February, craft fair in March. We had a flag raising and reception in September that was scheduled for July and I think canceled 3 times due to monsoon weather. And then finally culminated on October 4th with the Fire and Fiddle Fest at Costello Park. Kickoff event had about 30 people there. There was a lot of old photos and iconography and just artifacts on display. There was a number of interviews recorded with residents, both new residents, people who have lived here for a very short period of time, people who have lived here for a very long period of time. Those are all still available. I checked today on our Facebook page if you'd like to go check out those videos. We did have some snacks donated by the Happy Bakery, and the table settings were donated by Enfete, and there was also some stuff for the kids. So, but again, about 30 people attended that kickoff event, and that was the beginning. In March, we had a craft fair. This is really designed to generate revenue for all of the events. Had about 35 vendors with 350 people that came and did generate about $16.25 in revenue. The cost was just the gymnasium, which of course we don't charge ourselves for, so very minimal. And then we did the 50th flag raising on September 4th. Like I said, it was canceled a couple of times, or postponed, I should say. We did this concurrent with Prince William. We had a chamber business after hours at the All-American Steakhouse, which sort of was designed to focus on Manassas Park in 50 years. And it was well attended by chamber members from all over Prince William County, and did result in a number of sponsorship checks or online contributions, which was the intent. About 65 people attended the business after hours, and several of them came over to City Hall for the flag raising, and we estimate about 90 people in attendance for the flag raising and then the festivities afterwards in the boardroom here. Associated with the flag raising, there were 2 design contests. The theme for the 50th celebration was People, Places, Policy, and Progress. The winner of the flag design contest was Amanda Chavez. She's an 8th grader at the time at Manassas Park Middle School, and that's the flag design. That's the exact design that was flown on all the flagpoles in the city from this day until we took them down for the Veterans flag. We switched out for the Veterans flag. There was also some submissions from younger people, and this is the winner from the elementary school class. Happy birthday to Manassas Park with the cake and everything. I asked her what the little crab was in the lower right corner, and I remember that her answer was adorable, but I can't remember what the answer was. So you can make it up. As long as it's funny, it'll be fine. Last thing was the Fire and Fiddle Fest at Costello Park. It was a 5-hour event. The community center was closed for the day. We had 2 bands, 5 of a kind. Oops, I put 5 of a king. I must have been thinking about cards. And Seldom Seen. Seldom Seen is a very popular bluegrass band in the area, and got a lot of traction on our social media channels because of that. We also had bounce houses, food trucks. We had vendor and community resource tents there. We also, at that event, announced the winners of the first annual Manassas Park Photography Contest. There were 37 submissions in 3 categories: the youth category, celebration of the city category, and best overall. The youth winner was Sophia Beal, and that is her picture. That's the winning photo right there. The celebration of the city winner is Ali Hussein, and that is the photo there. That's Signal Hill Park with fresh snow. Nobody's even walked on it yet, not even the coyotes and the ducks and whatnot. So, and then the overall winner was Joe Stein. That's his picture of time-lapse photo of cars moving at dusk. So, very successful. I think the 37 submissions that was really a good response for a first-time event. So, happy with that. This is 5 of a kind. Got it right this time. 5 of a kind on stage, and then Seldom Seen followed them up. We also had dancing horses. So you got to picture the Costello Park. You got the stage with the bands playing. You got the horses dancing off to the right of the stage, and you have the food vendors and the bouncy houses. So it was pretty spread out, and I only say that because I was pretty surprised by the number of people that showed up. So all told, outside of staff, there was about 200 cell phones involved with staff. You understand that most cops, firefighters, us, we all carry 2, so, and that includes the vendors as well. So outside of those, there's about 1,100 people that came throughout the day. The peak was at 2 p.m., or the 2 o'clock hour, where there were about 592 people in the park to partake in the various options there. This is the financial summary. The city, the governing body allocated $25,000 to the event. We did raise $88.50 in sponsorships, and then the expenses there kind of in big buckets. The bands, the equipment is everything from food to the stage, which is pretty big, and then promotion, and then staff time, which is all the cops, firefighters, the park staff that were needed for the various events to pull them all off. Overall, we came in about $11,000 under budget, or under with the revenue side is, and would have been about $3,000 under the $25K that you guys allocated to begin with. So, and that's not too shabby. And that's the summary of the 50th anniversary events. I do want to go back and say I should have, yes, 50th anniversary event. This is all events. This isn't just the last one. This is the total. And I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Any questions? Start with the seat.
Thank you.
No questions. Thanks for your report.
No questions.
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you for all the effort on the events. They were really nice.
I appreciate that. I will pass that on to the people that did the actual work.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. We're on to consent agenda. It includes the approval of the minutes from November 18th, 2025, and an agreement between the Virginia Department of Health and the City of Manassas Park for funding and services for the Prince William Health Department as presented, and to authorize the city manager to execute the final agreement as approved by the city attorney. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Meeker Street sewer replacement. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and governing body members. Mark Lozier, I'm the General Services Administrator. I oversee procurement, facilities, and fleet. I'm really excited this evening to bring to you what I think is the first ever job order contracting procurement to execute a CIP project in the city of Manassas Park. I was asked at the beginning of the year when you approved the budget, in our sewer and rehab project line item was a big chunk of money for Meeker Court sewer rehab. I spoke with Brian about this shortly after he arrived, and I said, hey Brian, this project is an excellent candidate for job order contracting. I'm going to explain to you what job order contracting is all about, how it works, and then ask you for approval to proceed on it with the job order contracting and the administrative fee that was covered in the scoping for the project.
Is the microphone on?
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Didn't know it went off. Calvin's, we're going to tag team it. Calvin's, I'm going to do the procurement piece, and Calvin's going to come in and show you the map and the project and answer any questions about the project. But first, job order contracting is what we did for this project. Real quick, I'm going to go through the slides because everything about this method of procurement is in the Virginia Public Procurement Act. Our code references the Virginia Public Procurement Act. Before I proceeded in this direction, I talked with Brian about that. He said, yes, it's in the code. Follow the code, the Commonwealth Code, because our code references it. There is no specific job order contracting section of the city code, so don't be looking for it. There is a code section that says we can use VPPA methods, and that's why we're doing this. Job order contracting, real quick, is procuring construction projects by going to a list of pre-qualified construction firms that have already been competitively bid. You did that same thing about 3 years ago with the on-call engineering, architectural and professional engineering. You did an RFP, and you ended up with on-call engineering. What the state of the Commonwealth of Virginia did in this case, the Department of General Services, is they set out job order contracting contracts by competitive bid for a one-year term with 3 one-year renewals that are still in effect. What they did is they did it by region, and they ended up with approximately 20 qualified construction companies in each of those 20 regions. The way you access the contract is you use the program administrator that they hire, and the program administrator comes out, scopes the project out, makes the list, talks to the field personnel, goes out there and says, this is exactly what you need to ask your contractors to bid on. And that's what that list in the backup is all about, what you receive in there. So it's based upon the quantities and pricing. It's like having a menu for construction that without actually bidding a project. But all the firms that are in the JOC program are pre-qualified and competed in a bidding process through the DGS, Department of General Services. A real quick limitations and some of the parameters. The initial contract is limited to one term with 3 one-year renewals. This basically says what you have to do to establish the JOC, and that's either a competitive sealed bidding process or a competitive negotiation. General Services for the Commonwealth did a competitive sealed bidding, and that's how they ended up with 20 in the North region. Here's some real interesting things I found about. You can read this at your leisure, but for every contract that's out there, there's about 20 in the Northern region. You can acquire as an individual entity up to $10 million per contract, then you're exceeding the amount that's authorized under the Virginia Public Procurement Act. Now, for any individual project, you can do a project up to $1 million. So in essence, this particular process fills that gap between your small purchasing procedure, which ends at $200,000, up to $1 million. And it's basically a competitive process that you can jump onto. One of the restrictions that you'll find in the code is you can't use it for professional engineering and architectural services, and you can't use it for transportation construction projects. Why? Those are covered under separate sections of the VPPA, as well as your code under the small purchase and the professional services procurements. So it has to all be about construction projects, not road transportation construction projects. So when Calvin and his team came to me about procuring this, and I learned it was sewer, water and sewer utility, replacing like for like, a rehab project that would not require design and would not require extensive project management. Bingo, you checked all the boxes for making job order contracting your most efficient way to procure it. This slide shows you how it works. We had the joint scope meeting. This detailed scope of work was developed by Gordian after consultation with the field personnel. The price proposal was given to us. We reviewed the price proposal. We originally had some add alternates, and we deleted the add alternates. The add alternate or the alternatives in the contract were doing a complete road resurfacing immediately after the sewer rehab project. And the reason we removed it was their price was not competitive. Calvin can get it using his contracts for for street resurfacing much cheaper. So we did scope the project down to its essence, to the core needs. And we're right at that gold arrow. We got the price proposal, it's in your backup. We're seeking your approval, and then we will issue the job order if you approve going forward with this. This, I'm sorry for the fidelity, the acuity on this slide. These are the contractors that are in the blue zone, which is the north region. When we asked the program administration, Gordian, to find us a good contractor, they found a good contractor that was ready, willing, and able to do the work, and they ended up with the Matthews Group. The Matthews Group is a construction company that has several locations. They're both in the north and I think the central contract service area. All of the information about the firm and the back is in the backup about who they are and what they do and their qualifications, as well as the contract that the state has approved. What types of projects are ideal for job order contracting? This one was like a no-brainer for me because it's less. Our initial estimates for it were in the 200 to 300 range. That's where it ended up, so that's a good sign. Check the boxes. It's less than the $1 million cap. It's not architectural or engineering professional services involved. It's replacing what's in the ground. It's not transportation construction, so these are things that make this process amenable to this using job order contracting. We don't have to do design. The sewer's in the ground. We're replacing old corroded sewer pipes with new stuff, so there's no design cost. And this is a project that your well-qualified superintendent of public works and your engineering staff can oversee the project, oversee the slopes, the replacement, the compaction, and all that stuff associated with getting this project executed. So that's why it's a really good project for this. What's the catch? Well, there is no catch, but scoping the project, identifying the project, and identifying the commodities. We basically use Gordian as a city engineer or program administrator for creating the list of things that we needed to bid. And that's what they get paid for. They won't get paid unless you approve the construction project. So they did all the work for that. That's a 5% off the top program admin fee. And that's typical of a soft cost project. You would have to hire someone to do all that scoping and hire someone to create the project plan scope and do the list and do the legwork for it. And this is just basically my rundown of like what a CIP project is all about. Typically, there's 70% construction cost, hard costs, and 30% soft costs. This 5% is really part of that planning and scoping of a project and creating the scope. So I think their fee is very reasonable for the services that they provided. With that, I think I gave you a good overview of what it's all about. These contracts run through April 2026. I think they will probably get renewed by Department of General Services, and we may be able to use it again. But what we're going to talk about now is the $228,000, the big piece of the water and sewer rehab project for Meeker Court. I'm going to go to the map and turn it over to Calvin Odell, and he will give you a high-level overview of the project, and you can answer any questions. He can answer any questions on the project. But before I leave, any questions about the JOC process? Anything that the city attorney or anyone else wanted to add to the conversation? Okay.
Just curious, once a company is on the list that you can choose from, how long do they stay there?
So far, I think this is the first time that the state has done this since they allowed this to be used in the Commonwealth Code.
Okay.
And no one that I know of has been removed from the list. It hasn't really, to me, I don't know of a lot of churn on it because it's relatively new.
Okay.
But I'm going to take every opportunity for efficiency and effectiveness in procuring goods and services that's available under the code. So I got the okay for it, and boom, we're we're off to the races. Now, I will say, before I turn it over to Calvin, they gave us a really good time for completion. It's a 4-month project that they're going to do here, so that probably keeps it efficient as well.
Any questions about the contract, starting with Stacy?
No, no questions, thank you.
No.
Okay.
Daryl, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
No, Mark, I have a question.
Oh, okay.
That's right. So, I'm a little confused, because this is the first time we're using this process. You said they're competitive bids, but it sounds like Gordon picked a vendor,
Gordian actually,
or Gordian.
they check the availability of vendors and go through the process of those that are in our region. So they gave us a recommendation. They asked us, hey, we'd like to use the Matthews Group. I checked with 3 firms, and they have availability, and they're qualified and the most hungry right now, so I'd like to create this and get a price from them, and they did.
From what?
From
ones
the
that
Matthews Group.
From the Matthews Group, but no others were selected from the list other than the
No,
Matthews Group.
no.
So how do we, again, ensure we're getting the lowest competitive price? Is it because the state has set those prices and quantities?
The prices and quantities are set in the job order contract, yes. So they determine what the exact components of the ask are going to be. So there is a list of items, so yeah.
Engineering. So how do we, or who's responsible? Is it Gordian or the city of Manassas Park that holds the contractor accountable? You said 4 months, they go 6 or 8 months. Who handles that?
That's us. Gordian's involvement is only associated with helping us plan, scope, and select the construction. So we would oversee, based upon what's in that price quote and what their scope is, which is identified in their response, we have to hold them accountable to that.
And so, maybe for the attorney.
Yeah.
How can I phrase this? So we would have to sue them if they don't do the 4 months. I mean, are they gonna sign one of our contracts? Are they gonna sign a city of Manassas Park
we are-
contract to do the work?
We are contracting with them. So the advantage of this, the way to think about this program is it gives great advantage, especially to smaller jurisdictions around the Commonwealth. Because as we know, when we put things out to bid, there are a number of contractors who won't take a job in a small jurisdiction.
Correct.
Because they figure it's a one-off or they won't get anything. So the real advantage of this program is the state has pre-selected through a process a number of contractors that are willing to do this work because they know they're going to get repeat jobs around the Commonwealth. One control over quality, et cetera, is if they do a bad job, if they get enough bad reviews, they're not going to be renewed on that list and they won't get some of these smaller jobs. What they realize is this is a great way for them to get additional business because they get multiple smaller jobs. The answer to your question is we can hold them accountable. The only thing that differs from our normal process is how we're getting the contractors, if that makes any sense.
So they will be signing our contract as to form.
We have a contract document that they will be signing.
Very good. I have some other questions, but I'll hold those for
Great,
Calvin.
thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Good evening, Mayor Mensing, Vice Mayor Moore, members of council, residents, staff, and guests. I'm Calvin Odell, the Director of Community Development. The need for this project arose because we, as you know, we cast in place line aging sewers to help with our fight against inflow and infiltration. That's keeping ground and surface water out of our sanitary sewers, which would in turn increase our costs through UOSA. It was about 1.5 years ago that we attempted to line a section of sewer on Meeker Court, one of the remaining sections of the old part of the city that has not been cast in place line to this point. When the lining company went out and televised the sewer, they noticed an offset at one of the joints that would not allow the lining to take, that would cause a structural defect that they weren't willing to warrant. So we essentially started asking contractors for a price to make a point repair. Well, when those contractors started televising the line, they noticed that there were more than one offset in the area, and this turned into about 150 foot of pipe replacement to remove all of the offsets and get the pipe in condition for future lining. So it went from a small point repair and at one single joint to several joints, and now it's a 150 foot section of pipe. This The contractor will have to excavate about 8 to 10 feet. I think one manhole, the invert is about 8 feet, the other is a little over 10 feet. This will be a somewhat substantial project with some disruption to Meeker Court, but they are able to keep traffic, at least one lane open at all times, either under traffic control or in the evenings, people will just have at least one lane to traverse. There are about 10 houses that will have to be dealt with via bypass while they're actually performing the work. And so the contractor is responsible for setting up the bypass and ensuring that those 10 houses are still served. We don't expect major interruption of sewer service to any of the residents, but there will be, of course, at least one day where they will be changing over someone's lateral, and they'll have to let them know, hey, today, we may be able to surcharge your lateral, but please limit your, please try not to wash laundry all day or something like that. But we don't expect it to take any more than a day per lateral to get everything tied back in, and then the customers will, not have any restrictions on water usage. But we don't expect it to be a major burden on the residents there, except for dealing with the traffic control issue and the plating of the street and everything every evening. This won't actually be a 4-month-long job. The paving plants will close essentially next week, and no one will be able to get asphalt. So we've asked them to defer this work until early spring, when we can immediately get hot patch asphalt and pavement and get this repaved. I don't expect this to take more than a week or so, but I'm not going to speak for the contractor. I don't think they believe that it's going to take any more than a week or so to actually execute the work. It is just 150 feet of pipe, but it's 8 to 10 feet. It's not unsubstantial excavation. But we've spoken with the contractor, and we worked on the scope with Gordian, the representative from them that was putting together the scope, and the price is pretty much in line with what we had been anticipating for this job. I can't speak to, this is my first attempt at job order contracting too. It's not to say that you couldn't find somebody hungrier, but these are well-qualified contractors, and this job is a little more than just replacing a single sewer lateral. There will be a bypass involved, and the contractor is responsible for everything. And we will just be monitoring their work and ensuring that everything goes in accordance with our public facility manuals and best practice. And but this will not be a disturbance to the community for 4 months. This will be a much shorter disturbance to the community, and the contractor is aware that they have to get people in and out of their houses, and they can't leave people without sewer service for more than a part of a day or a whole day where they are on some sort of restriction. So.
Okay, thank you. Will we be resurfacing the street when you're done?
Yes. Yeah, so we had asked them originally to price in a complete resurfacing of Meeker Court. This will only require them, the job itself would only require them to do about a 10-foot swath along the 150-foot excavation. And we asked them to give us a price to just resurface the entirety of Meeker Court. And their price was higher than what we can get from Branscombe. They would have to subcontract out the work, and we have a fixed price with a local contractor. It's cheaper for us to go in and resurface immediately once they're done with the construction. So that's the plan right now. Stephen Hall, the transportation program manager, and Abdul Al-Thirwi, his project manager, are already working to get quotes from Branscombe. I think we have a quote in hand, and they'll be ready to go as soon as the plants reopen in the spring and this job's cleared. They'll be ready to resurface Meeker Court. So.
Okay, that's perfect. And how will you communicate to the homes the day of their?
So that is all in the contract on the contractor to do, but of course, we will be watching their activity, and we're going to make sure that the communication they give is adequate. We don't want the residents getting upset, and we don't want there to be any confusion. So we'll want to see their communications first and review them. And then, if we don't think that they're giving enough notice, or if we think the notice isn't good enough for the residents to explain to them exactly what's happening, then we'll ask them to revise their notice in the way they intend to do it. But that is all on them in the contract. It's not our, but we're not going to let the residents be confused and concerned the entire time. we'll make sure that that process goes smoothly, so.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Councilman Miller?
Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. I was looking at the budget of 240,000. Is there any contingency in this budget?
So because it's job order contracting, their prices probably contain some contingency. They're building, they're bidding unit prices that would have to be good under any condition across the state. So I didn't see a direct contingency built into the unit price list, but I imagine that all of the items have some sort of a contingency built into them, because you can't, when you're bidding unit prices that have to be applicable all across a region or a state under any conditions. There's
So the
gotta be
240
some
includes contingency.
I would think that each one of the unit prices probably has some sort of contingency that the contractor feels safe they can work within.
Okay. Do you know what technology they're going to use? Are they going to do microbursting, or what they're going to do to put
No,
the
this will be
new?
direct replacement. They'll be lifting up the old, the old damaged
The clay?
well, it's concrete. It's RCP, reinforced concrete pipe. But at this point, the joints have settled unevenly and the aggregate's exposed, and they'll just be removing that and replacing it with modern sewer pipes.
And for the 10 residents on the street, are we giving them any opportunities to correct? First of all, I think the sewer project is great to fix our I&I problems, but are we telling the residents, this is the time, we're here to do their upper lateral? And I believe the city has a program to help them pay for that, a revolving loan?
Yeah, we did, create the grant program to offer people, I think it's $1,000 per lateral, if they, so we'll be discussing that with the residents ahead of this happening. This is not going to start until March, so we have until then to knock on doors and discuss with the residents, and we can probably help them televise their laterals and see what kind of shape it's in. A lot of them may have already been replaced. It really just depends. We see less and less of the Orangeburg laterals that were original to the city, and if there was ever a tree in the front yard, the chances are the Orangeburg lateral hasn't survived this long. So we can always offer to help them out and help them televise their lateral and see if it's a good candidate for replacement.
It'd be great if the contractor would be willing to give our residents, do that work since they're going to be there on site and do the upper lateral work.
That's, we've talked about this in the past, and we talked about this with the Upper Kent replacement, and the issue we ran into with the contractor is that their contract is with us. They agreed to work on city right away, and then, to go onto private property under this contract wouldn't really be an option. But if they were willing to enter into separate contracts with the homeowners and give them some economies of scale for already being out there and mobilized. But
Absolutely.
That's something we haven't discussed with the contractor yet, but if we go out there and televise laterals and there's 3 or 4 bad laterals in the area, that would be worth a discussion with them to say, hey, part of this would be nice if we could just go ahead and get rid of any of the existing Orangeburg or poor cast iron that's in the area right now.
I'm glad the city's going to be willing to video check out the upper laterals.
Yeah, it's, as long as they have a clean out that doesn't require us to dig
Dig a
down
hole,
and
yeah.
excavate, it's not really hard for us to run a push camera through it and, say this is the condition of your lateral, you may want to consider replacing it. But it really just depends on the area. A lot of the areas that are low-lying and stuff, they probably have already had enough problem with their Orangeburg till it's been replaced. And if the home's undergone major improvements, chances are the Orangeburg lateral's gone. But we'll have to wait and see what we see with the camera. So.
Does the city of Manassas Park have a list of do not use for contractors, particularly construction? I know a lot of cities do
There's
that.
been some events that have happened that we've discussed debarment of contractors from time to time, but I don't think we've ever actually debarred a contractor in my tenure at the city. So,
Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. And then my final question, I appreciate the mayor's questions about communication, but just to follow up with that, I'm assuming that the communications will be bilingual?
Yes, yeah, that would be the only option. I mean,
Okay.
we just, if they don't intend to produce bilingual communications, then I'll turn it over to my staff for translation, and we'll make sure that it goes out bilingual. It wouldn't serve a lot of good to just issue an English communication of that nature. So.
Great to hear. Thank you, Calvin. I'm finished.
Questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Calvin. Let's see, all right. The motion is that the governing body approve and authorize a project work order not to exceed an amount of $228,888.05 using the DGS contract number CTR 025591 to the Matthews Group for the rehabilitation of the Meeker Court Street Rehab Project, and to authorize a payment of the program administration fee of $11,444.41 to Gordian.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. All right, ordinance authorizing bonuses for city employees.
Thank you, Mayor, governing body. Following the discussion at the last meeting about bonuses for city employees and also some discussion about bonuses for governing body members, I discussed this with the city manager, and we agreed that best practice was to put an ordinance in place that would sort of memorialize the bonus process. As you know, there's two ways to do bonuses. The city's, I think, normally done the second of these. The first would be to program bonuses into the annual budget process. The second way is by amendment to the annual budget process. Either way, it's done by ordinance. You amend your budget by ordinance. So you don't run afoul of the state code requirement that requires bonuses be done by ordinance. But I thought it was good, and the manager agreed to just have a standalone ordinance that sort of set forth the process that you all follow. So in this document, you see both manners. There's one where it's in the budget programmed, in which case the manager is authorized to award based on the budget. The second would be if the manager identifies a recommendation for bonuses that he or she would bring them to the governing body for consideration and action at appropriate time, and you'll see that in here. And it also has some saving languages that avoids any argument that when you award bonuses through the budget process that somehow it's not done by ordinance, even though it is. So long way of saying it's a housekeeping item and best practice, and we recommend it to you for consideration. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? No, Nancy? No.
So we're choosing today, Brian, which way we like, or you're making a recommendation?
No, so this just simply, so the manager will be, you'll be considering shortly actually awarding the bonuses for this year. This just allows
To do it, the
any,
process. Gotcha.
right, and the important protection for the governing body is the manager is only authorized to issue bonuses. I don't think the manager would want to do it anyway without bringing it to the governing body. But if it's not in the budget, has to bring it to the governing body for consideration, and that's the process that you've been doing every year anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this motion authorizes the ordinance.
Correct. This sort of papers over the ordinance, but it doesn't authorize the actual bonuses. That'll be the subsequent
next
item.
action item.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Questions, Councilmember Javed?
No.
Okay. The staff recommendation is that the governing body approve the ordinance authorizing bonuses for city employees as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. All right, now we're up to the approval of the FY 2026 amended budget.
This is the presentation I gave during the public hearing. Excuse me. Unless you have desire to see something else, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Comments, questions, Councilmember Javed?
No.
No questions.
No. Okay, staff recommendation is that the governing body adopt the FY 26 budget amendment 1 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Budget appropriations.
Again, this is just the routine approval of the third quarter appropriations so that we in the schools can, execute the will of the city. I do have the numbers if you want to see them, but it is not outside of the routine. And we would have normally handled this on consent if we wouldn't have the bonus issue to talk about.
Gotcha. Comments, questions? This way first. Nope. Okay. The first staff recommendation is that the governing body appropriate $22,299,071 based on the FY26 approved budget, or $29,108,960. Wait, which one are we doing? Can you read it, Brian, and make sure those numbers are correct? Sorry, all of a sudden. Which one are we doing? The 22,299? Or am I reading both?
One moment. Sorry.
Sure.
Close out of the venue right when you said that.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I should have caught this beforehand, I'm sorry. I just wanted to drag the meeting on a little bit more for Michael.
Of course.
What's 1 hour? Come on.
What they call a pregnant pause.
Yep.
Yeah, for the city, it's 22,299.
Okay, so skip the 29 million budget, the number there?
That's the budget amendment piece.
Okay,
Tony will help us.
So the way we are showing this is if you were approving the FY.
yeah, that, all of a sudden,
Sorry,
I thought that might be it.
Governing body, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Tony Jenkins, Budget Manager. This first chart is the FY26 budget as approved. So that would be the 22 million appropriation. The second one, we wanted to do both because you guys had to approve the A1 budget tonight. So in case there was any reason why you didn't approve the A1, we didn't want to base it on those numbers.
So I should skip to that second number?
The second number is the
Perfect,
29.
that's what I thought. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Tony.
Yes.
All right, so, start over. The motion is that the governing body appropriate $29,108,967 based on our previous approval of the FY26 A1 budget amendment to the city for Q3 of fiscal year 2026.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. And the second one is that the governing body appropriate $17,589,682 based on the approval of the FY26 A1 budget amendment to city schools for Q3 of fiscal year 2026.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Second public comment time. Is there anyone who'd like to make public comment? No? All right. City manager report.
All right, we won't see each other again until the retreat on January 3rd. And then we'll have the next governing body meeting on that Tuesday. So in the meantime, I hope you all have a great, almost 3 weeks to relax and enjoy your families. The only piece of news I have is that, and I can't believe Debbie didn't say it, but they finished personal property today, and it has been sent to the printers and will be out in the mail this week.
Oh.
So everybody will be getting those bills, and still due February 5th as you extended the deadline. There's no reason to mess with that, but that's done.
Yay.
That's awesome. Thank you, Debbie.
And that's all I have unless you have questions.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else for the good of the city? Motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Merry Christmas.
holidays.
Happy